Hi, I'm Morgana Stanley, the Superintendent of the Henderson County Schools, and this is your mid-week message. As you know, we are starting our school on August 26th. However, we have had to adjust and we will begin NTI, which is non-traditional instruction. Now, please know, our NTI that we have planned for this fall will look very different than it did in the spring. Our staff members and our teachers have been working diligently, planning and looking at how to better be able to teach our students through rigorous coursework and how to communicate information back and forth to our parents and to our students at home. We are very fortunate in the Henderson County Schools to be one-to-one. That means we have one Chromebook for every student, grades kindergarten through grade 12. Today with me I have Miss Christy Sandifer. She is our Director of Instructional Technology who's going to answer for us some frequently asked questions. So one question that I hear folks ask very often now that we have to start NTI is how will this instruction be delivered?
Sure. So our teachers are going to use Google Classroom again this year. Our teachers have been attending some training over the past several weeks to prepare for that because we want to make sure our teachers have the most up-to-date and the best instructional tools that they can in order to provide top-notch education for our students. This year, one thing that will be different from last year, because we did use Google Classroom last year when we were on NTI days, but this year we've created some common templates across the district that teachers, students, and parents will become familiar with that will help them just with consistency on this is the way my assignments are posted, this is where I find my materials, a little bit of more of an organizational method for them to use.
Has to be super helpful.
Very much.
That way, regardless of what teacher you have or what class you're in, it will have a common, like you said, organizational format.
Sure. Yes,
Yeah.
that was one thing that we heard from our parents that they requested, and we made sure that make that happen this year.
We've also been asked quite often is, will the teaching sessions be live or will they be pre-recorded?
There will be a mixture of that this
Okay.
year because some things teachers will want to have students maybe watch prior to the live session. So they might log on and watch an instructional video, and then directly after, the teacher may have a live session for students to log on and ask questions face to face. But there will also be scheduled times throughout every day that students will have the capability to log on and watch their teacher teach a live session. So we have the best of both worlds for that.
That's awesome. That is the beautiful thing about technology. We know that there's some challenges with it also, obviously, but it's certainly something that we can use, and our teachers will be even more effective in teaching the lessons. And you know, we also last year, when all of a sudden we had to shift and go to NTI, we started with just giving some kind of review work. But this year that's very different also. I mean, we have to teach the standards and the content as it happens in our pacing guides this year.
We do.
So
our teachers have been working very closely with our digital learning coaches to just teach them better ways that they can deliver that new instruction, because we know that teaching looks different in the classroom than it does online, but we also don't want to miss out on that personal connection piece where students are able to watch their teachers teach. And if at any time that a student has to miss a live Google Meet, all of those are always recorded and can go back and access those at any time.
Sure, that's great. So back in June, our Board of Education met and they approved 3 different ways that we could have a diverse schedule. One was NTI, one was in-class person, which we all were hoping for, and then one is kind of that hybrid, which means students can come to, half of our students come at a time. So we would designate this group of students as Group A. They could come Monday, Tuesday. This group of students would be Group B, and they'd come Thursday, Friday. And we might have to use, well, we probably will have to use all of those schedules throughout this year. But then the board also approved Virtual Learning Academy. So now that we are starting NTI, will students that have already enrolled in the Virtual Learning Academy be affected?
No, they will be able to continue with virtual learning just as they had planned to.
Okay, so if I'm enrolled in Virtual Learning Academy, I still have my Chromebook at home and I work, and when we have the opportunity to shift to hybrid or to total in-person class, I still can stay on Virtual Learning Academy.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's good, because I know that's we've had a lot of those questions. How does that affect or change it? So we are going to be at home now for some weeks, learning at home. And as a parent, I might need some resources, or the students are going to need resources. Share with us some different ways that we being parents and students, can get some help.
Sure. Well, one hurdle that we have right in the beginning is our very youngest students, our kindergarten, first, and even some second grade students that have never taken a Chromebook home, or some of them ever used a Chromebook before, especially our kindergarten babies. So when they pick up their Chromebooks from their school, they're going to get a brochure that is going to be two-sided, and it will walk them through step by step. This is how I turn my Chromebook on. This is how I charge it. This is how I log in. This is how I access my Google Classroom.
Like a little cheat sheet.
Like a little cheat sheet,
Nice,
yes, for our younger students. One thing that we have for every student and every family and every teacher across the district is our e-learning site, and that was created last year when we went NTI. That had a huge assortment of instructional resources, technical resources, and we have revamped that over the summer to make it more user-friendly for everybody, for our parents, for our students, and for our teachers. So that will be that is accessible even now for anybody that wants to use that website. We are also going to create videos, mini parent videos, for the major resources that we know every single student in Henderson County is going to use. So the first one that we're going to roll out is Chromebook 101. This is the device, and this is how I use it.
So you could even start your own little YouTube series of
absolutely,
how-tos.
Yes. That's kind of what we envision that it will look like. But the first 3 videos that will be pushed out by the end of next week are Chromebook 101, Google Classroom, how do I use Google Classroom, and also how do I use Google Meets. We think that those are the 3 most important videos that even before school starts, that our parents and our students need to feel comfortable with.
Very nice. I appreciate your thinking forward and taking everything we learned in the spring of how to make it better for our students, for our staff, but most importantly for our parents, because we couldn't have even been as successful as we were last spring without our parents helping us along the way. And a lot of our parents want the tools to help to be able to support their kids, their children, while they're at home learning. I can't wait to see some of those videos.
Yes.
That'll be fun, very fun, and very needed. So next week, we had already planned in the Henderson County Schools to have a big soft opening. Bring students in, let's practice the in-person class. But unfortunately, we can't do that. Unfortunately, and so we've modified our soft opening.
Yes.
And primarily, we'll be focusing on
Chromebook rollout.
Sure.
We feel like that the modified soft opening is going to have 2 pieces to it, but the first piece is we need to get the device in the hands of the students. So next week, across the district, Chromebooks will be rolled out to every student, and those plans will be delivered by your building principal. And then the following week, after we get all the devices in the hands of the students, then we can work on reaching out to our families and scheduling some appointments for students and small groups to come in and actually maybe sit in their classroom and see their teacher.
That would be fantastic. It's so important for us as administrators and leaders that our students and our teachers can connect right now. And so those 2 weeks will be great fun. Next week will be super busy rolling out Chromebooks.
Yes, it
getting
will.
Those, it's almost like a parent camp, YouTube, teaching tools ready and out. And then the next couple weeks we'll focus on making those connections with our students and with our teachers. Is there anything else that you can think of today that you feel is important to share with our parents or with our students?
Just that last year we were hit with NTI kind of out of nowhere, and I just want to give a shout out to our teachers and our digital learning coaches, our instructional coaches that have spent so much time this summer really teaching, the coaches teaching about what digital learning looks like, and our teachers learning what that looks like, so we can be better prepared to tackle that this year.
That sounds great. You know, we're all disappointed that we don't get to go in-person class, but I am excited to know that we are prepared. We're prepared for August 26th to start. Then we will shift and determine if we're able and ready to start back hybrid or completely in-person class. Ms. Sandifer, I appreciate all of your work this summer with the digital coaches and instructional coaches in getting us more prepared to have a successful NTI. We knew it was going to happen, and it has. So please, parents and students, as you're watching this, if you do have any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Our phone number here at the board office is 270-831-5000. I hope you have a great rest of your week and a wonderful weekend.